Wait, what is this? Hold on.
So I know this menu better than you do, okay? I probably know it better than anybody in here.
God, he's so awesome. Donald Trump to McDonald's workers in East Palestine, Ohio. I know this menu better than you do. I know it probably better than anyone in here. What a fucking legend, dude. No one has ever been as back in the history of being back as Donald motherfucking Trump right in this very moment. Oh my fucking God, he is so back. He's like dancing right now. He's like getting in the groove. Every single interaction that he has, he's like remembering what made him the fucking goat of this sort of social conversation. It's so serious. Trump brought in the Ohio big boys for his conference. Oh my God. Oh, dude, that's how you know. That's how you know shit's serious. This is a beefy ass L for the Biden administration. Like literally having toxic chemical clouds visible from fucking Pennsylvania that are coming out of Ohio, making this like through independent media and through social media, making this like the top news story domestically, never really fully addressing it and never even like showing face, and then having a speech in Ukraine and then in Poland while Trump is in Ohio. I mean, are you trying to lose? Is that what's going on? Because you're doing a great job. I mean, this is Democrats just running against themselves, okay? Like, do I think Trump gives a shit about Ohio? Absolutely not. Trump is directly responsible, more so than the Democratic administrations that came before it and came after, with respect to deregulation. He did deregulation from top to bottom, but it doesn't fucking matter. This is something I've been talking about for a long time now. I talked about this years ago when Tucker Carlson started adorning leftist aesthetics to talk about like labor rights, when in fact all he cares about is not socialism or improving the material conditions of workers. But if the Democrats don't fill that void, someone will. And when they fill that void, they will fill it with a whole bunch of bullshit. They will fill it for nefarious reasons. No voter in Ohio cares that Trump caused this. We will care that Biden never showed up. Him and DeWine, both are absolutely just botched Ohio. Yeah. I don't know how to describe this other than, just the Democrats doing their very best to make sure that they do not get reelected. Will this ultimately be a permanent scar on Pete Buttigieg's career? Probably. Will this be a permanent scar on Biden's career? Probably not. I don't know. Blame Biden more when Republicans don't want government intervention. Make up your fucking mind, victims. Wait, what? No, I blame Biden for doing bad policy and bad politics. Republicans do bad policy, but also do good politics. This is a moment where the Republicans who have done bad policy are doing good politics to hide the bad policy that they've done and literally shift the blame over to the Democrats, who ostensibly are supposed to be on the better side of policy, even though usually they're not, but are doing such dog shit abysmal politics that it doesn't fucking matter. Trump, speaking at a Hilton in Palm Beach, criticized Biden for going to Ukraine but not Ohio. You might recall that Trump was impeached for trying to extort the Ukrainian government. No one cares about this. Like, the funniest part about that entire story is that Trump literally was like, yeah, we'll keep giving you arms, as they did, okay? But just like, you got to find dirt, which is definitely an impeachable offense. That was a violation for sure, right? But you can't cover a Trump W like this when he's literally right, okay? When he's completely correct, and it looks awful from the perspective of average Americans when you're doing politics. He meant NATO, not just Ukraine. Yeah, good luck, globeheads. Explain that to like dudes living in fucking Pennsylvania and Ohio. I don't even agree with it too. Like I don't even agree with that attitude anyway. Sorry, you silly, pathetic losers. You don't understand. He met with NATO, and that's really important. Like, the fuck are you talking about? There was a time and place when, there were liberals in the Democratic Party who talked about how military spending was absolute bananas and that we need to do something about it to make sure that we help our citizens instead of continue bloodshed overseas. That's long gone. Post 9/11, there is none of that, okay? It's crazy. Look.
Done in 2 years. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And even now you have a president going to Ukraine, and you have people in Ohio that are in desperate need of help. And I was very proud to say that I announced I was going to Ohio. FEMA said we're not going to give them anything. The Biden administration said we're not going to give them anything. And then I announced I'm going. Please sit down.
Look at that. Look, a kernel of truth and a whole bunch of lies wrapped up around it. But it doesn't matter because the kernel of truth is there. He went to Ohio. Biden went to Kyiv. Okay? The lies are FEMA didn't want to give anything to fucking Ohio. That's a lie. That was directed by Mike DeWine. The governor, the Republican governor of Ohio, was the one who did not who denied the actual fucking help from the government. But hey, you get to dominate the narrative like this. If you can just openly state this shit, you get to dominate the narrative. You can be literally the guy who not only advocates for DeWine, you can be the guy who advocates for deregulation and successfully gets deregulation. You know what I mean? Reversing an Obama-era decision, for example, that deregulated the railroads, as we talked about, as the railroad companies, as we talked about. And you can still get to make this argument, and most people will believe you because you're there. You went there. They successfully caused the problem and then turned around. Republicans, I mean, they successfully caused the problem. Democrats are not infallible in this either, but if you're looking at it strictly from a Republican perspective, they caused the problem almost directly. Their ideology is directly responsible for this, deregulation is. Then they turned around and shifted it to a culture war narrative. They slided the fucking conversation away from deregulation to a culture war narrative. These are white people in Ohio. These are hardworking, white working class people that have been left behind by the bi-coastal elitist Democrats. And meanwhile, the Democrats are doing nothing to combat it. It's not that the Republicans are exceptional at reframing narratives. I mean, they're pretty good because they want to win and they don't have a lot of support and their ideas suck. So they have to do everything they can to win and they're going to play dirty. But Democrats, on the other hand, don't want to win. They love the situation that they're currently in, where they have like no real meaningful control, so that they could just throw their hands up in the air and say, oh, fuck, we can't do anything about it. Trump would have never visited a blue state is also not right. He actually went to California when the wildfires were happening. And remember, he was talking about how like, you got to sweep the floors. So that's so dumb. That's not the case. He definitely will go to blue states and shit. Why? Because he wants to win, motherfucker. That's the difference. Why would Dems want to win? They benefit from Republican policies. They benefit from their position as champions of the moral high ground. It's a win-win to lose. Yeah. Right now, you can very easily hit so many different angles on how the Biden administration fucked up. They broke the strikes that the railroad workers were pushing for. They offered them none of the things that they asked for. They strong-armed the labor unions in that regard. And then like a month later, a massive derailment occurred that has now created a new cancer cluster in Ohio. Then they didn't even fucking turn around and like say anything about it until, you know, it became national news, because everyone on TikTok was freaking out about it, because it was like it wasn't the invisible kind of pollutant that destroys your body every day. It's not the microplastics that we're consuming. It was visible. So it was more tangible. It was more identifiable, and people understandably freaked the fuck out about it. And then even then, they basically just tweeted about it and didn't do anything. And Republicans will always take advantage of a PR opportunity. They will never let a crisis go to waste. This is my favorite take from Donald Trump. I saw this and I lost my fucking mind. It's such good it's just, he's popping off.
The swamp, the rhinos, the deep state, the globalists, and actually the communists. You know, I used to say we'll never be a socialist country. And I was right, because the train never stopped at the socialist, that station never stopped. It just went right by. So maybe we hit the Marxist station and the communist station, but they never stopped at socialism, did they, Monica? Never stopped, It's like, so I was right.
Yeah. The train never stopped. Choo choo, they said. We're at the communist station. Yeah, dude, America has communism now. The more capitalist America gets, the more communist Republicans call it. It's so funny.
I wish at least they stopped for a little while and then we'll settle that problem. But they've gone long beyond that, what they're going. NC is dying. They're dying. I always predicted they'll endorse me sometime prior to the election. Might have been the only thing I've been wrong about, actually. But now they wish they had to do that over again. No, they're all dying. Even Fox is way down. Fox is way down.
Yeah.
Because they're not on board with us.
So
they're not on board with us. It's just like 2016. Fox was against me. Everybody was against me. And we like it better that way, don't we? Somehow.
He's coming back, dude. These are some takes, Trump on undocumented immigrants. We got to get him out. We got to start with the bad ones. Trump proposed an executive order banning federal agencies from promoting the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. He's hitting all the high notes. He's talking about trans stuff. Trump brags he actually had a very good relationship with Putin. We noticed, says Aaron.
For example, Putin never, ever would have gone into Ukraine if I were president, never. And I told him, I actually had a very good relationship. By the way, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. These idiots back there would say, he's very close to Putin. Remember when they hit me with the question, who do you trust? Your intelligence people in the United States. They're not.
It's so funny that like it's technically correct to have and maintain a decent relationship with every fucking world leader, okay? But like they literally say this about Xi Jinping. They're like, Trump, not me, but even though I call him Xi Jinping, Joe Biden, he has a very good relationship with Xi Jinping. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? They pick and choose. It's like, you know, Republicans can do no wrong. They get away with it. They can be friendly with all the fucking world leaders, which they should. Like, you know, it's always better to lead through. It's always better to make sure that the relationships that you have with other, you know, foreign nations is a positive one. You already have trade relationships, so just continue on that.
You have two N-words, neither of which should ever be mentioned. I said that once. I said, oh, what a terrible thing to say. No. You have two N-words. You know what the one is, but the other is the nuclear word. Not supposed to ever be mentioned. Ever, ever, ever. It's mentioned every single day now. Nuclear is so devastating that we don't even want to talk about it. And that was a word that was never supposed to be mentioned.
The GOAT, dude. The fucking GOAT.
Hello, Mr. President. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
We all love you.
Thank you.
We have a problem with all the three-letter agencies in Washington.
Oh, dude, this is the most groiped up shouty in the fucking room right there. We have a problem with the three-letter agencies, sir. They're using the tactics they use on Muslims on us instead, sir. What do we got to do about that?
CIA.
A guy asked Trump if AT&T should be dismantled because DirecTV dropped Newsmax. Oh, my God. I love when they fucking talk about monopolist power only because, like, their favorite programming has been disrupted. It's so frustrating, dude. It's so crazy. I mean, I'll take it. I don't give a fuck. Like the only time when they're like, yeah, let's do something about these fucking mega corporations is when like Disney comes out and says something along the lines of like, yeah, you shouldn't like try to murder gay people. They're like, whoa, what the fuck? Time to put corporate punishments on the board. And it's like, okay, fine, do it. I don't even give a shit.
I also want to recognize a man who has been working tirelessly for this community since the beginning of the nightmare. And Trent, where's Trent? He's very easy to find.
Oh my God. Yes, dude. Yes, he's very easy to find. He's bulbous. He's such a big boy. I love my big boys. You love to see it, folks. No little boys here, only big ones.